How y'all doing today? In today's video, we're going to talk about budgeting, what a budget is, and also how to find a budget that works for you. So giving y'all a basic definition off of Google, a personal budget is a plan for managing your money, which tracks your income against your expenses to help you make informed spending decisions. So basically, a budget is a spending plan. You telling your money where you want it to go, and then you following through with it. Couple weeks ago, I had made a video on how I use Google Sheets to track my income and my expenses and do some basic budgeting from there. In this video, we're going to dive a little bit deeper and we're going to talk about budget allocation. And basically what budget allocation is saying what percentage of your money should be going towards needs, what percentage should be going towards wealth, and what percentage should be going towards wants. And I got an example budget here that I'm going to use in this video. So this dude, he been making $4,000 a month after taxes at his job, and this is his expenses for the month. So how much he spent on food, monthly bills, groceries, gas, and a couple more things. So how this would work is throughout the month you've been tracking your income and expenses, whether you use Google Sheets or if you've been using the app. And at the end of the month, what you'll do is you'll take these numbers and bring them over here. And I'm going to give y'all a link to the website below. So he punch in how much he made, and then you fill out each category. And what it'll do is it'll give you a visual representation of where your money going. And I like stuff like this because I can visibly see. So in this video, we're going to talk about each category, how much you should be spending in each category, and tricks and things that can help you. And I'm going to use this example budget throughout the video to show like what he should be doing or different things he could do. And today, I'm going to use the 50-30-20 rule just for some talking points. What the 50-30-20 rule says is that 50% of your money should go towards needs, 30% should go towards wants, and 20% should go towards savings. I'm aware your numbers could be completely different. You might have it right now where 80% is going towards needs, and 10% is going towards wants, and 10% is going towards savings. Or maybe you could be a younger person and you don't have that many bills, so 30% is going towards needs, 50% is going towards wants, and 20% is going towards savings. Everybody's different. The main thing we're trying to get across with this video is where your percentage is at now and where we're trying to get them to. And the first category we're going to talk about today is the savings category. And I'm going to call this the wealth building category because you could be at a couple different stages with this one. You could have it right now where you're trying to save to have a fully funded emergency fund. Or you could have it where you have a fully funded emergency fund, so now you're starting to invest in the stocks and the business and things. Or you could have it where you're trying to build an emergency fund and you're trying to pay down debt at the same time. The main thing I want to emphasize is wherever you're at in your wealth building journey, making sure you're putting something each month towards this category. When I was younger and I first got introduced to money, I thought it was one of those things where you had to save all your money and invest all your money and you're not able to enjoy it. That's not realistic. What are we working for if we can't enjoy the fruits of our labor? But it's a thing of balance because the problem I'm seeing is where I don't have a problem with buying clothes and going on vacation and concerts, but I do have a problem where we're not putting any of our money towards our savings and our investments. When we're talking about trying to get out of survival mode, living paycheck to paycheck, and we're talking about building wealth, you have to start putting some of your money towards your savings and your wealth building journey. In this example, they're saying put 20%. I think that's realistic for some people. If you can't put 20%, let's put 10%. If you can't do 10%, let's do 5%. But we have to start doing something because, like I just said, it's not enjoyable when you're putting all your money towards saving and investments. But at the same time, if you're spending all your money on fun and stuff that don't really matter for your future, you're broke. So it's really just finding that balance and finding what works for you. And one thing that I think could help a lot of people is what we call the pay yourself first method. And what that is making the first payment of each month into your savings account. And it might not be savings, like we said, wherever you at in your wealth building journey, whether you're saving up for an emergency fund or if you've already started investing or if you're paying down debt, soon as your check hit, you put it towards wherever you are in your journey. And let's say we make 1,000 a week, and right now we're putting 10% of our check towards saving up for an emergency fund. So 10% of 1,000 is 100. So as soon as that direct deposit hit, I'm not buying no McDonald's, I'm not buying no clothes, I'm not paying no bills. I'm gonna go ahead and put that $100 towards my emergency fund. Pay yourself first. And a good example of this is a 401k. So for those of us that don't know what a 401k is it's in a retirement plan that your employer takes out your paycheck each week. So you know for a fact when you get paid, the money that you know for a fact your 401k is already going out your check. That's pay yourself first. That's a good example of that. But the only difference now is instead of your employer doing it, you're doing it. And this helps for people that maybe are not good at saving money because it helps you build that habit, that consistency. So, like I said, as soon as your check hit, do not buy nothing. Go ahead and handle the business first. Then you can go buy yourself. So whatever you want. And we've been looking at our numbers, so you know what percentage you can allow to go towards this. Like I said, if it's not 20, do 10. If you can't do 10, let's do 5, but we had to do something. And I'm a little biased, so I'm always encourage the more you can. If you can do more than 20, do more than 20. And this not only works for when you get your paycheck, but this works for lump sum payments as well. So we have tax time coming up. A lot of people about to be getting a lot of money back on their taxes. So we know now that we're not blowing all our money on stuff we don't need. We can blow some of it, but not all of it. So soon as your tax refund hit, let's say your tax refund is 5,000, and on your regular work check, you've been putting 20% of your money towards your savings. When that tax refund hit, put 20% of your money towards your savings. So if you get paid 5,000, 20% of 5,000 is 1,000. Put 1,000 into your savings. If you want to, you can put a little more, but at least put some. So you already building that habit of savings. And another thing that I think could help some people is with your bank account. So typically with the bank, you have a checking and a savings account. Ask your bank, can you open up a couple more accounts so you can distribute your money into each category? So you have an account where you pay your bills, or you have an account where you put your savings, or you have an account where you put your, like maybe you like to buy clothes, so you have an account where you put your clothes money. So each paycheck, you could distribute it, each percentage into your spending buckets. So that helps a lot of people as well. And let's use the example budget I had created to talk about his savings and his wealth building. So he was able to save $870 this month, and he's been paying down $200 a month for his credit card. So out of his $4,000 a month he made, 27% of that is going towards his wealth building journey. I think that's pretty decent, because if you look at the 50-30-20 rule, he's only supposed, they say only 20%, but let's say he want to ramp it up. Let's say he really trying to lock in. So he been making 4,000 a month at his job. Let's say next month he go DoorDash when he gets off. So he making 4,000 a month from his job, and he makes 800. He makes 800 this month from DoorDash. And showing y'all how the spend part works. You want your monthly expenses to equal your monthly income. That way every dollar is accounted for. So he made 4,800 this month. So now he has 800 extra dollars to play with. So how we gonna, you feel me? Not all of it gotta go towards savings. He only spent 11% of his money last month on having fun and the wants. So, okay, what he did? Let me see what he did. So he spent 150 on going out with his friends, and he spent 300 on clothes. He like fashion. So that's 450. He might can dump a little extra to that this month. So Okay, we're gonna go 600 this month on the close. So okay, that's 14%. So now he has 650 to play with. Okay. And he gonna get a little bit more aggressive with the credit card. We're trying to go ahead and get that debt all the way to zero. So he put 500, and he still got 350 to pay with. So we're gonna put that towards savings. So 350, 870 plus 350. Let me get my calculator out. I ain't the smartest. Boom, 1,222. Boom. So now he went from, well, he was at 27% of income towards his savings and his debt. Now he's at 36%. And he could spend a little bit more on his clothes and his going out with his friends. So you see how it's not just the income, but it's also, I mean, it's not just about the expenses, it's also about making more money as well. So an extra 800 a month, he was able to disperse that pretty good and had another good month. And that's only what, 200, that's only making an extra 200 a week on DoorDash. So you'd be like, oh man, that ain't a lot of money. But you see what that 800 did. Next thing we're going to talk about is the wants. Wants are the things that you spend money on that aren't absolutely essential. So this is clothes, this is vacations, concert tickets, purses, upgrades of stuff that we don't really need. Anything where it's like you could live without it. These are the wants. And I'm just being honest. We're overdoing it. Not everybody, but a lot of us are. And it's the thing coming back to balance. When I want us to have fun, I want us to ball, but I want us to ball responsibly. When we're putting all our money into these things, we're not putting any of our money into our savings and our investments, I think that's a problem. And when you come look at your numbers at the end of the month, what they saying to you, they not gonna lie to you. Are you overspending in your wants category? You know, like I said, I want us to have fun. I want us to enjoy life, but I don't want us to do it where we have no money going towards our investments, because we're never gonna be able to get ahead that way. And like I said, I want us to borrow responsibly. So one thing we could use is what we call our sinking fund. And you know, I made the video where we talked about our emergency fund. An emergency fund is for emergencies, things we can't really prepare for. We can't tell when our car is gonna break down or when we're gonna have to be out of work because we're sick. But a sinking fund is for stuff that we can plan for. And giving you a basic definition, a sinking fund is a strategic way to save money by setting aside a little bit of money each month. And your sinking fund is for things where you want to have fun. So you look at a couple of examples here: the plane tickets for your trips, the vacations, clothes, new tires for your car. So you can plan ahead for these things. And remember what I just said. Talk to your bank about setting up different accounts. You could have it where you have one of your accounts for your sinking fund. So if you know you like to buy clothes and you're into fashion, every week you might set aside a certain percentage of $50 a week for your clothes sinking fund. Or if you know you have a trip coming up next year, each paycheck, put money aside to where you could put it in a trip. When that trip come, you have that money. You know? So like I said, I want us to ball, but I want us to do it responsibly. And I'm not telling you to have to save all your money, but I'm also not telling you to spend all your money either. So I'm gonna say it one last time. Keep finding that balance and finding out what works for you. And I think a sinking fund can help a lot of us with being more responsible in the ways that we spend money. And the last category we're gonna talk about today is needs. Needs are the bills that you absolutely must pay and purchases that are necessary for survival. So this is your rent, your mortgage payment. You need shelter, your car payment, car insurance. We need transportation, food, groceries, healthcare, everything you need to live. And this one a little tricky because it's a lot of people out here that are not even being irresponsible with their money, and all their money is still going towards needs. So when we come look at our spending percentages at the end of the month, if 90% or all of our money is literally going towards bills, is there any possible way we could cut back? Can we possibly look at getting a roommate or downgrading our life? Because, like I've been saying, if all your money is going towards bills and you have no money left over, we only had to talk about the savings part. You still would like to be able to enjoy a little bit of your money as well and maybe take a trip here and there. You can't even do that. So what ways could we possibly cut back? And not even just people that are being responsible with their money and still can't and all their money is going towards needs, but a lot of us are just simply being irresponsible and living above our means. So yes, we need shelter, but does it have to be in a luxury apartment? Yes, we need transportation, but does it have to be the most expensive car in the world? And if you can afford that, for sure. If I have $100 in my pocket and I go in and I buy $1 bag of chips, I don't think that's unreasonable. But if you simply can't afford these things, it's okay to live below your means because, like I said, we don't want it where all our money is going towards bills. Because for one, we definitely want to be saving and investing for our future so we can get ahead and build wealth, but we also want to enjoy life a little bit. So the numbers not going to tell us no lie. I know y'all probably tired of me saying it at this point, but what the numbers telling you? And sometimes I see some young people where they fall into like this ego trap of I have my own everything, but they can't really afford it. And it's 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 one of them things where if you're 10 years from now, you're not gonna really care about having where you had your own apartment and you had your own car and everything, but you were never able to save and invest any money. Make your future self happy. We want to be able to enjoy life, and we also want to be able to build wealth. So if it's not needed where you have to have a rent, a really expensive rent or a really expensive car, live below your means. I know it feels good on the gram and people see you like really, but in real life it don't feel good if you really can't afford it. Just being honest. So I think for my younger people, we probably can start aiming towards 50% for needs, 65 at most. But if you don't have like a lot of responsibilities, children, you probably can go 50% for needs, probably even 40, 30. Like the less the better, because we have more money to play with for our wants and savings category. And for our older people with more like we have families, we have homes and things, we probably want to look at trying to stay around the 70, 75. Obviously the lower the better, 60, 65. But I understand you do have more responsibilities, those bills are a little bit higher. And with me going over budget allocation today, it all comes back to one thing: you. Personal finance is personal. So you could be a younger person right now and you don't have that many bills, so you're able to spend more towards your savings and your wants. Or you could be an older person watching this video with a family, so a lot of your money is going towards bills. So we're trying to figure out ways where we could put a little bit of our money towards savings. And not only savings, but wants, where we can spend money and have fun with our family as well. And my challenge today is going to my young people that don't have that many bills. Where are my extremists at? And what I mean by that is, where are my people that's putting 70 to 80% of their money towards savings and investments? I didn't say 100 because I still want you to enjoy yourself. Still want you to look fresh, buy your little clothes, take your little trip here and there. But I promise you, your older self will thank you so much. For one, the younger you start investing and saving, the better it is. And for two, the more money you put while you're younger is double. That's even better. Like I said, I ain't tell you how to put 100%, but where my extremists at? That's putting most of their money towards saving investment while they're young, and when they're older, they can chill. Just food for thought. So going back to my example from earlier, where we had dude, he was making 4,000 a month, and this all his spending for the month. This a single person. So I might do next time where I give an example with a person with a family where their bills might be higher. But we're gonna go with this example today. So he just started DoorDashing. He made 800 extra on DoorDash. So he got 4,800. And what we did, we put. This is what I would do. So, okay, we did buy a little bit more clothes, went out a little bit more. We still had 600 to play with. So, I'm going to double down. I'm going to try to go ahead and get this card paid off. So, I'm going to go ahead and put 400 more on this card. And I still had 200, so I'm going to put the rest towards my savings. And I'm not only going to do that, but I'm going to show y'all what else I'm going to do. And y'all see how easy it is to play with it when you can visibly see? So, like, when we be blindly spending, we have an idea, but when you can visually look at your data, it just makes it so much easier. So I'm gonna tackle my needs, like what ways I can cut back on needs. And one way I might look at it is I might get me a roommate. So my rent 1,000 right now. I'm gonna get me a roommate. Boom. So I got another 500 to play with. So what I'm gonna do? Okay, I'm gonna double down on my savings a little bit more. Like I say, I'm biased. I'm always encourage more savings, more investing. And okay, I got 300 left. I haven't took a trip in a little minute, so I'm gonna create a sinking fund for a little vacation. So I'm gonna start putting 300 a month towards my vacation. Boom. So I think that's pretty good. I was able to cut down on my needs where I could spend more towards things I would like, clothes, trips, and I still was able to double down, save more, and try to double down and get this credit card paid off. So I think that was pretty good right there. And like I said, next time I might do an example where I have a person like with a family and they got more bills and more responsibilities. So that way we could look at it from two sides. But I think that was decent. So today we went over budget allocation and we talked about the three categories of what percentage should be going towards needs, what percentage should be going towards savings, and what percentage should be going towards wants. If y'all have any questions, please reach out to me and y'all stay blessed.